Hi, I'm Charlie Etheridge-Nunn. While my friend here is no longer glow in the dark, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the darkness. And luckily, not actually in the dark, even though this room spent 2 years with no working light, which made for some interesting evenings and some ominous online games. Today is the 13th of August, and the RPG a day word of the day is darkness. And I want to talk about darkness being done right. Now, I am a big fan of horror. Ever since I was a child, I had nightmares quite often, and I found reading horror actually the perfect way of kind of exercising it, of limiting it into that world, into that form. It sealed it away, and then I was here in reality and could sleep, um, which, helped. But as you do as a nerdy boy in the 90s, you read a lot of Stephen King when young, and then read a lot of Lovecraft when young, and Lovecraft is a man not without his issues. But I became a big fan of Call of Cthulhu, and then over the years, it's a fine game, but there are better ways of doing it. Specifically, this Cthulhu Dark, and its incoming successor, Cosmic Dark. This is a game where it knows how to make things dwell, how to make it creeping and ominous with the horror. It's back in Trail of Cthulhu, the author Graham Walmsley uh, tended to do what's called purist scenarios, and he actually wrote a book called Stealing Cthulhu about approaching a bit more of a Lovecraftian horror edge with Lovecraftian games, rather than your pop guy with shotgun running around, bang bang, all of that. This was you are like you are probably doomed, and between the way in which the mechanics are so sparse and the unremitting bleakness of the scenarios, it manages to create the darkest uh, adventures that I've ever had in any Lovecraftian game. But it's something where they make sure early on to cover, this is a game. Players are more important than the game itself. And while it's a little sparser than some games that go very heavily into safety tools, it still makes sure that you're right with your blokes. You want to make sure that everyone at the table is safe, is all right. Now, I ran the first scenario from that book a while ago, called Screams of Children, and while it covered a few things what they may encounter, I used the X card, I used Lines and Veils, and the Open Door, and it was the only time the Open Door actually got used, and that's cool. It's something where I'd rather a player actually did that than kind of suffered through. So I'm proud of Mark, my player, for actually doing that, and yeah, it's something where, in a way, the setup for the tone helps encourage the players to know that this is something that's going to be dark. You only have one stat, which is your insight, and as things get stranger, your insight will go up, and when it hits 6, you're done, and it is likely to hit 6. You have ways of reducing it once you're at 5, but at that point you're kind of on the way out, and you can see this glorious death spiral happening. Players have occupation background kind of things. You can see it's the inspiration for some of the system of the trophy games, and yeah, it's fascinating to see, because even when you roll really well in your investigation rolls, which are one of the two types of rolls, investigation and doing other things, you if you get a 6, then you've seen too much. Like, you get your information, but you also see more than you counted on, more than you wanted. and that way even the rewards can start to sting. And it's fascinating for that as you drive closer and closer to your ruin. It's definitely an experience to try if you like Lovecraftian horror, if you like Lovecraftian games. It's still possibly one of my two favorite, like all-time favorite Lovecraftian RPGs. And at some point, if there's enough interest, I'm probably going to try and write a compare and contrast of the varied systems, but I will actually need to run Call of Cthulhu 7th edition first, because I've not actually run it, despite having run so many others now. Yeah, if you'd be interested in me talking about that, or if you want to tell me about some of the fun, dark things in RPGs, comment down below. Just, you know, not too dark. This is a public forum after all.